Hi everyone, my name's Michelle and I'm Mama Loves You GB here on FlossTube, and welcome along to December the 10th and to my 5,000 subscriber episode. I reached 5,000 subscribers yesterday on December the 9th, so actually I pretty much woke up with 5,000 subscribers and so pleased, so pleased. I consider everybody who watches to be a stitchy friend of mine, and I'm so pleased when everybody comments and follows along, and to all those who've liked and subscribed, those of you who've been here for one episode or those of you who've been here right from the very beginning. I am so grateful. So please join me in a little glass of something. This is, it's not champagne, but it's the nicer end of the Prosecco range, and it's particularly tasty actually. So please grab yourself a glass. Remember, it's not day drinking. If you're doing it with a friend, this is social drinking, and that's allowed. Anything goes in December. That is particularly nice. So I've got quite a few things to show you today. I've had a lovely day. I did get to go round and have a mooch around the charity shops and the little shops that I like in one of the local towns, but I did forget that quite a few places in small town West Wales still do Wednesday closing. Yep, so probably 4 of the places that I wanted to go to today were actually shut. So it's not very far from my daughter's school, so I'll get to drop her off in the morning, and it's also not very far from the car wash because my car is so desperately in need of a wash. It's actually black, but not so as you'd notice. There is a thick layer of grime on it just from driving around the country roads and being massively lazy, because it's the one thing I really hate to do, but it's going to have to get done tomorrow. So I'm going to drop my daughter off, go and wash the car, and then pop back to those little places that I couldn't go to. All my work's set. I've got my phone with me, so if students need me in a hurry, they can get me, no problem. So I'm going to go and do that tomorrow. What I did do today in that little small town, I did go and have a mooch. I went and got an all-day breakfast, which you can't be an all-day breakfast, can you? It was particularly nice, although I would have liked some mushrooms with it. And I bought, well, that's one of the projects on the floor. I bought some of this Mermaid Seaweed Face Polish. So I'm going to give it a go. I don't know about anybody else, but since the winter's set in, when it's been really cold, and again, I don't know why I keep looking out the window, it's pitch black, and face mask wearing and stuff, my skin's gone really dry. So I'm going to give this a try, if only because one of the ingredients, in fact 2 of the ingredients, really tickle me. It's based on seaweed, and one of the seaweeds they use is called Porifera umbilicalis. Now you'd think it was a biologist, I'd be able to say that a bit earlier, a bit easier even. See, I can't even talk. And the other one's called Ulva intestinalis. So I've got an umbilicalis and an intestinalis to try in there. Basically it just means long thin seaweeds. So I'll give that a go and I will let you know tomorrow. So this is promising me glow with the magic of the sea. So quite frankly, if by tomorrow's video I am not glowing and with a mermaid's tail, I should be wanting my money back. I have got the usual to show you. I've got 2 past finishes, I've got my thread advent, and I've also got my free chart. But I thought it better be time for me to actually show you some stitching, to actually show you some things that I've been working on. And I've got 3 things to show you. And one of the questions that I've been getting is about how I choose threads. And I quite often joke that I choose threads that I can reach. And that is true to a certain extent. If I want to swap a thread out, if I've got something close to hand that looks a similar colour, then I will go with it. But what I thought I'd do is I would just talk you through, maybe if you're moving away from kits, or you're starting to experiment with a little bit of colour swapping, colour converting, I thought I'd show you the 3 different ways that I do it, because I've actually done my 3 different methods in the 3 projects that I'm going to show you. So the first one fell on the floor a minute ago, so let me grab that. Oh, back. So the first method of colour converting that I do, I would call eyeballing. Basically, I just have a look at the pattern and pick something that looks similar, or something that I think will look nice. So this is what I've done with the All Is Calm freebie chart from Whilst Iris Naps. So I did it with the fabric. I eyeballed the fabric and thought, yeah, that looks okay, I like that. And then I looked at the colours that she's got, and I picked out this kind of green for the tree, and I also picked out this holly. I think this holly may be a little bit too yellowy, but I'm not changing it. And then I decided that I'm going to do 2 dark trees with a lighter green tree in the middle. So I used the designer's colour chart as my inspiration, eyeballed it and just picked something that I thought would look nice. And these are a mixture of various different Victorian motto threads in the main, and the bit there where it says calm is the blue spruce that I used for Maria Dale, because I've got a bit of that left. So that's the first method. It's just to have a look at the chart and then pick something that I think looks similar. The second method that you've got available, I've used on this one. Now I've got a little bit further actually on the Santa. So this is the freebie chart from, I want to say the 9th of December. Yeah, the 9th of December, the one I put up yesterday. And this is by Pinker and Pumpkin blogspot, and you can look at yesterday's video and find the link to it. And I've started to fill in a bit more of the Santa's face. Now I'm using the called for colours except for the green, which I didn't have, so I just eyeballed that one, and the grey, which I didn't have. And I wasn't really sure what colour the grey was. So what I did was, there's a brilliant website called codyhoover.com, and what I'll do is I'll link that down below. And it's a DMC conversion website. So you literally type in the number of the conversion, or the number that you've been told to get that you haven't got. And I'll put a little picture up here actually, because I took a screenshot of the one that I was doing. So you type in the number that you haven't got. So I think it was 762 that I didn't have. Just seeing if I've got the chart to hand. Yeah, 762, which was the sort of grey bits in the bobble of his hat and the moustache. I didn't have that one to hand. Typed in 762 and it comes up with the sort of 6 closest ones, and it gives you a little sort of swatch so you can see whether it's slightly bluer, slightly browner, slightly greyer, slightly greener, and you can make your choice from there based on what you've got. So that's what I did with the grey here, and it does show up a lot better in real life. So that's the second way that I work to use that Cody Hoover website. The third way I have done on my start of my start of Anne Morrison. Sorry, I've got threads everywhere, we've got a disaster going on my start of Anne Morrison. Because what I wanted to do was I wanted to use the Victorian motto threads that I'd got, and looking at the colourways on here, I was pretty sure that I could get all or nearly all converted to Victorian mottos, something similar. So it gives me all the DMC codes on the back. So what I did was I used this, and I will show you what I've stitched on it in a minute. I used this. Now if you haven't got one of these, oh please make that my screenshot. I'm just going to hang here for a minute. Now if you've not seen these, this is, let's get it under control, shall we? This is the DMC colour chart, and these are actual threads. And so it's got the threads. If you know the key, it will tell you what you can get that colour in, whether it's the normal DMC, whether it's the pearl cotton, all the different colours, sorry, not the colours, all the different types of thread that they do. But it's really nice to have the actual swatches, and I don't know if I hold it up like that, it's really nice to have the actual swatches of the thread rather than a computer screen or a sort of printout of the colours. And it's got all of them, including all of the new 1 to 35, or relatively new 1 to 35. Towards the end, it's got all the metallics, the neons, and the colour variations there. And so what I did was I used the colour legend on the back, found the DMC in my swatch, sorry, and then I used, I'm sure you can guess what's coming next, I used that to then pick out my closest matches for the Victorian mottos that I had, or I've got a few DMCs because I didn't have a Victorian motto that sort of was similar, and I've decided to use the Schoolhouse Red instead of the 815 because I didn't have a Victorian motto that matched. So that's the 3 different ways that I use to sort of colour convert. So if you're new to that, then give those 3 methods a go and see what you come up with. I haven't shown you the stitching. Anne Morrison. This is not going to set the world on fire, I'm afraid, but that is where I am so far, and I'm doing it on Access Commodities 37 count Russian tea cake. And I'm just a little bit, I did give it a bit of an iron, but I'm a little bit concerned that that crease is going to be really hard to get out, so I might have another go with the iron and try and get those major creases out before I go too much further with it. Okie dokie, shall we go threads? Let's go add threads. Okay, there's my pack, and we are on the 10th today. Oh, a red. Ooh, Buckeye Scarlet. Now I know Buckeye Scarlet is in lots and lots of different quite common charts, so that will be nice when I come to pick one of those that's got Buckeye Scarlet in it. That's a really nice, almost goes from, and you'll have to excuse me, but this is the light I'm looking at, almost like a real tomato red down to a burgundy. So that is amazing. Now the other thing that I promised myself I was going to do today, the lovely Christina from Whilst Iris Naps sent me some threads, and she said about saving them for Christmas Day. So I've put one in the Christmas Day slot, but I know there are others. So I thought what I'd do, since it's my 5,000, I was going to have a little dib in here, and I'm just going to pick out 2 others just as a little treat. So I'll try not to get or see anything else. Job done. So thank you very much for these, Christina. Oh, I've had this one before. I like this one. Beehive by Weeks Dye Works. So this is a really, really variegated one. And so it goes from like a dark brown, looks a bit more green there, to a yellow. So if you stitch that 1 cross at a time, that would be really, really variegated. If you didn't want it quite so variegated, you could either go across and back, or you could do, if you were using 2 strands, you could do a loop start and double it over like that, so you get a bit more of a mixed stitch. And then this one, oh, that's ever so pretty. This one is called Jaybird, again Weeks Dye Works, which is a really, really nice mid blue. How cute is that? So I'm going to add those as like specials to my floss string. There we go. Okie dokie. I think that's the second time I've said that today. Because I haven't really talked to anyone else today. Usually I've been at school all day talking to people, because I haven't really talked to anyone else today. This is the freebie chart, and I actually can't claim any credit for this one, for finding this one. This one was sent to me by a viewer, by a subscriber, and I have looked and looked to see where the name of the person who sent me this is, and I cannot find it. So if you sent me this, if you sent me the link for this chart, please comment on this video and I will give you your rightful credit in tomorrow's episode. I've checked my Instagram, I've checked my YouTube comments, I just can't find you. I'm really, really sorry. So this is by Miriam Chauvet, and I'm sorry Miriam if I've butchered your name, and it's from the Couleur Tourterelle, let's try that again, Tourterelle blogspot, and it's this beautiful little sort of marking piece. They call it, it's called a Petit Marquette or Couleur de Noël. You can tell I don't speak French, do you? I have a job with English most days. And so it's this beautiful little sampler, and it is little. Has it got a stitch count on it anywhere? I would say 105 by 78, 80, something like that. And it's stitched in reds and greens and golds. You could change the colours completely if you wanted something different. And can you see it's got in the middle there, it's got a heart with a cross on the top. What she's done is, that's obviously included in the chart, but she has also, and I'll hold this right back here so you can't see, she has also charted 4 other options for the centre. So if you didn't want to do the heart, where are we? If you didn't want to do the heart with the cross, you have got the choice, where have I just put it, of a beautiful star, a tree, a fruit basket, or a deer. And so you can put whatever you like in the middle. So that is my freebie chart. In fact, I can hold that one closer, can't I? That one doesn't have to go at the back. So that really is beautiful. It wouldn't take very long at all. I love these flat finishes. I think that's something I want to do next, is try and do like a flat finish. But I need to have a good look and see how you do those properly. I think I know, but I want to have a look and see how you do them properly. So that is the freebie. And as always, it'll be linked below. Okay, so let's go for the only thing we've got left to do. In fact, it's not the only thing left to do. I've brought something else to show you today as well. Let's do previous finishes. Now the first one I'm going to show you is probably one of my oldest, or was one of my oldest whips. And actually, just as I was ironing these through, I've realised it is still a whip. One of them has got like 3 stitches missing on it, so I'm going to have to finish that. So I picked this out, I think I must have started this in 2017, and it is stitched on 16 count Aida, on a cream Aida. So this was before I started to get into different colours of fabric, not different counts, but different colours of fabric, and into the even weaving linen world. And this is an advent calendar from one of the cross stitch magazines. Now I'm gonna have to check my Reedy account and put the name of the cross stitch magazine and the the edition across the bottom, because I can't remember off the top of my head, and I must admit I forgot to look. So this is 24 little stitches. Now the cross stitch magazine showed them done as little pockets, almost hung like bunting. Now we have so many advent calendars in our house that have got little pockets, little places to put things, that I'm not going to do that with this one. What I'm going to do with these is I'm just going to make them into little pillows that we can just hang on the tree day by day. So I'll show you what I've got. Now, I'm not sure the white is going to show up. This is Cream Ada, and it's got a bright white on it, but I'm not sure it's going to show up. So, what I might do if I cast it in shadow. It's much better in real life. So that's number 1, which is the snowflake. Number 2, the gingerbread. 3, 4. Let's see if you can see this one. 5 is the snowman. Number 6. Now this is one of the ones I haven't finished. This angel is bald. 7, she should have a mop of hair. So that's why I've got that extra thread in the same box. There we go. I'll have it finished by later. 8. 9. He's cute. He's quite similar to the Brenda Gervais freebie that's on the With Thy Needle and Thread Facebook. So if you've not checked that out, go on to Facebook, go on to the With Thy Needle and Thread Facebook site, and Brenda Gervais is releasing a freebie all this week. Number 9. I've collected the releases so far, but I haven't started anything. Number 10. 3 Wise Men. Where'd you find 3 of them? Number 10. Number 11. Number 12. 13. That's one of my favourite ones actually. I'd stitch him again. 14. The Little Pudding. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. The bells. 20. 21. 22. 23, which is the little nutcracker. And lastly, number 24, the shooting star. So as I said, I'll put the issue number and the magazine down below. So if you've got Readly, because you can go through and look through the back issues, you'll be able to find that one if you wanted to do it. Did I bring with me? Oh, I did. I just thought I'd show you the 2 backing fabrics that I've chosen. So I'm going to make 24 little hanging pillows, and these are the 2 backing fabrics that I have chosen, either the green or the polka dot red. So I really should get my backside into gear and get those made up, but we shall see. And this is my other previous finish that I've got to show you. Now this one, I will admit, I did stitch this outside of my finish window that I've been doing. So I actually finished this before December last year, which is where I was showing them from, but I thought, hey, it's my 5,000 subscriber video, I'm going to show it. And excuse me, this is looking at me. And there's nothing special, but I just quite like it. I framed it myself. It has got glass on it, but it's this one. This is by Plum Street Samplers, and it's Mermaid Fractal. And I stitched this quite a while ago, so the colours would more than likely be the called for colours, and I'm pretty sure they are all DMC. Yeah, they are. They're all the DMC versions. And the only change I made was I think I changed this centre flower and just made it different to the other 2. But I really enjoyed stitching that. It's on that Star Sapphire fabric again, which I think is a permit. And that is my finish on that one. That's still available, so if you wanted to stitch that one, you can find that one quite easily. Now the other thing that I've bought to show you, and I've left it till the last in case you don't want to see it, and if you don't want to see it then no worries, but this is my first go at a quilt top. Now I've actually finished this over lockdown, but I still haven't got around to quilting it. I've got the batting and I've got the back. Now it's quite a big quilt, it's probably about a double size, so I ended up buying a double bedspread, a cotton bedspread, just to get the fabric in one big enough piece to do the back. It's a Christmas quilt, and because it's a Christmas quilt I thought, well, if it ends up being a dog's dinner I've only got to get it out once a year. So this is my first ever quilt top, so it's really, really simple. I bought a pack of 10-inch squares, I cut them into 4 so they were 5-inch squares, and then I sewed them together. And let's see if I can show you what it's like. So basically all I did was laid it out on the bed, and I tried to just spread out the colours, so where the lights and the darks were, the reds, the greens, the plaids, all of the different ones. So most of the fabrics you can see quite well. There's like a daisy one, or a wreath one, a spot, a zigzag. There's this nice one with the village in. So some of the village ones are the right way up, some of them are the wrong way up, because I just wanted it to be totally random. It didn't matter which way up you had it. So that's the kind of village print. That is in turquoise, and it's in cream and black, one of the greys I think. And then it's got, where is it? Some of them have got like newsprint on them, but all those lovely kind of Christmassy colours. So I'm hoping that over the Christmas break I'm going to take this to my mum's and I'm going to have a go at quilting it. The reason I'm going to take it to my mum's is because she's got a bit more space, so I can lay it out and quilt it properly. I've got the binding for it. I've got some fabric in this kind of green tone to do the binding, and the back is just a plain black. Again, because it was my first go, I didn't want to spend lots and lots of money on a really big piece of backing fabric only for it to go wrong. So once I've finished that, I will show it to you and we'll see how it goes. So that's me done. A little bit longer than usual, but it is a special show. So I hope you've been enjoying a little glass of something, and I will see you again tomorrow. Stay classy, Stitchers.